So this is a large painting here. It's going to be a picture of the Western Isles. These are the sketches in the background that I'm working off. So I'm going to sort of amalgamate a couple of things going on there onto this painting here. So what I've done is put my first wash on, which is pretty much pure cadmium yellow, and you can see up close here the drawing, and it's graded from white down to yellow. Now this is a classic example of contrast in watercolour. If you look at these two areas that I've left white, look how white they look, how bright they look. They're exactly the same colour as that, but because there's no paint around them, they're made to look brighter. See? Pure contrast. So this is the second stage done. I was using this sort of rusty colour here. When it goes on neat, that's what it looks like up there. As it comes onto the yellow, it changes, obviously darker. So these mountains in the background, that was all one wash. All has to be done consecutively. Just left the highlights on the cottage there. So that's stage 2. So here we have stage 3, where what I've done is just put a pure cobalt blue, this blue here, which has come over the top, the sky there. There's pure white paper, and down in the corner, slightly experimental shape that, but we'll see what happens. So it's the next wash is where it really takes off. I'll see if I can video this so you can see it.
Yes, I do. This looks like being a very close fought London election for the London mayor. These are complaints coming from Labour primarily, but also from Conservative councillor. And if the election turnout, the outcome, is marginal, then I think that people will be extremely concerned that it's taken so long for this issue in Tower Hamlets to be referred by the Electoral Commission to the police.
Richard Morey QC serves as an election court judge in Birmingham in 2005. He ruled that the court.
As soon as you receive it, it's to refer to the investigation. They're the body that investigates and makes decisions.
Do you agree with what Richard Morey was saying, that the system is wide open to fraud?
There's no evidence that there is a great deal of fraud going on within the system. There are improvements to the system. The system since 2003, with an entry compiling electoral register now. So that instead of like the household system that we have now, which is where the system is that loads of people get registered, changes so that it becomes one of individual registration, and each person will go on register is checked off against some other records and put into the register. The government will be moving forward legislation. We hope in the next session they will use that before the next general election.
But do you think there is a case, as Richard Morey was saying, to end postal voting on demand anyway? It means it's still having boosted turnout.
Well, postal voting on demand is very popular. There are nationally 50% of the electorate use it. It might be very convenient. And all the evidence we have absolute predictions that they might be very convenient to use, because whatever their domestic circumstances are, they don't find it easy to get to a polling station.
I suppose it's a balance between that convenience and then the possibilities for abuse, which we can't have.
Yes, and by securing the entry points to the registration system, which is why having individual registration will make the postal voting system more secure, because there will be a guarantee that the person who applies for postal vote, and that person will have to give identifiers which need to be checked.
Yes. Should those are changes that you want to make, would you accept that until that change is made, there is the potential for fraud?
Until the registration comes in, there is that potential, but there has been no evidence of large-scale cases of fraud since 2007. So there is potential for it, but there are proposals to improve the registration system.
While that potential exists, democracy is being undermined, isn't it? We've had one chap say that actually could affect the mayor election.
There's always the potential So what we have been doing consistently is working with the police and village registration officers to make sure that the police investigate. Each police force has a dedicated election expert now. There's a lot of guidance that we provide for them. We work very closely with the Association of Chief Police Officers to make sure that there is a rigorous response to allegations of attack.
And discovered that tens of thousands during Sierra Leone's 1991 to 2002 civil war. They were notorious using child soldiers and hacking off the limbs of civilians. International judges found that Charles Taylor was criminally responsible for war crimes by supporting the Sierra Leone rebels in return for blood diamonds. He was trial at the Special Court of Sierra Leone, sitting in The Hague for almost 5 years. From there, we're joined by our correspondent, Peter Barnes.
Yes, this was a crucially important day for international justice because it has shown that even the most powerful leaders can be brought to account. Charles Taylor, the president of Liberia for 6 years, the first former head of state to face judgment in an international court since Nuremberg. This is how Justice Richard Lussick summed up the trial of Charles Taylor.
Charles Taylor was found guilty of aiding and abetting the commission of the following crimes pursuant to Article 6.1 of the statute during the indictment period. Count 1, acts of terrorism, violation of Article 3. Count 2, murder, a crime against humanity, pursuant to Article 3. Count 3, violence to life, health, and physical or mental well-being of persons, in particular murder.
The trial has lasted nearly 5 years. Charles Taylor denied all wrongdoing. He previously said that he was the victim of a political conspiracy by Western nations who were intent on stopping him returning to power in Liberia. This was how Taylor testified before the court.
I, Charles Gandhi Taylor, never, ever, at any time, knowingly assist, fortify, in the invasion of Sierra Leone.
Now, at the heart of the prosecution case was that Charles Taylor was the central figure in arming and supporting the rebels of the Revolutionary United Front in Sierra Leone throughout much of the 1990s. This was Brenda Hollis, the chief prosecutor.
Throughout the conflict in Sierra Leone, Charles Taylor was the father, the godfather, of his proxy forces in Sierra Leone. He was their chief. He created, trained, and sustained the RUF, and embedded in its training and its modus operandi the use of terror as the basic means by which his proxy forces and his own Liberian forces would achieve his objectives in Sierra Leone.
Today, the trial chamber concluded that there was no proof of command responsibility or a common plan. The judges said that Taylor had only aided and abetted the rebels, but that was enough to find him guilty on all 11 charges. Now, the defence will appeal, but Mr. Taylor can expect a long prison sentence, and if his conviction is confirmed, it's already been agreed that he'll serve his imprisonment in the United Kingdom.
Peter Barnes. So what kind of reaction will there be in Sierra Leone itself? We're joined by our correspondent in the capital Freetown, Mark.
Yes, thank you, Martha. Well, the reaction here is one of quiet satisfaction, and of course, with so many of the victims of these crimes are Sierra Leonean, and you mentioned that many of the things that he's accused of doing are so terrible, and one of them is the rape of women across Sierra Leone. With me is Fatima Sano, who comes from the Diamond district, which was particularly affected by the war. Fatima, what does this sentence mean for women that you work with?
I'm Fatima Sano of Kainan district. Really, the sentence is for us as women in Kainan district. Because if people remember, Kainan district is where this war started, and Kainan is where the war ended. So when there was war in Kainan district, almost all the women there were raped. They are vulnerable now. Some who went out of the country to Guinea and Liberia.
As refugees.
As refugees, they were in Guinea and Liberia. When they have returned, everything has been devastated. They are single parents, mothers now in Kainan district. all their husbands and children.
So how does this sentence?
So when I put that purple layer on, that's when it really came together as a painting. There's one more to go, and that's the green, but you can see how suddenly the contrast of the sand dunes have picked up. Okay, so that's a finished piece. I've just put a piece of kitchen roll there in the foreground just to give it some scale. Let me see if I can zoom in. So that's the Western Isles, 2012, April the 26th to be exact. I'm just going to take you into the painting to have a look at some detail. With these paintings, it's not actually the detail that counts. When you look at the work there, it's actually quite simple. Though this purple wash that I videoed was very, very complicated. That area particularly gets quite tricky. You've got to work really very quickly. It's the whole thing put together, it's the whole design that makes it. That's about, historically, to get to that point, I think there's probably about 400 hours of design work's gone into getting to this level. Okay, hope you enjoyed it.